Cutucutiquitaca, que recanija calaca. Cuando menos lo pensamos, nos hace estirar la pata. Yo me la escapé una vez, pero por poco me atrapa.
¡Ay, ay, ay! Who's calling me? Ajá, bienvenidos, camaradas. Welcome to my mundo de sombras, world of shadows. These cards bear the dreams and visions of a certain historical homie who deals from the deck of his own soul.
Llevamos al mismo fin. Empetate o empetata. Tucutiquitaca.
Up there, God. Over here, me. All right, and Larry read in between.
The Seven Visions of Incarnacion is about a boy who's raised in one of the old California missions, and he's the special favorite of the priest of the mission.
Tonight, at the Mass, I am announcing that finally you will be ordained in our holy brotherhood and sent to your true homeland, España, to pursue your studies.
Oh, at last, my parents' homeland that I've dreamed of since I could dream.
But right in the midst of this great success, all of a sudden this mysterious figure comes popping out of Encarnacion's own body, and it's the Calaca.
You're swelled up with so many visiones, they knock me right out of your body.
And the only way to get me back in is to basically discover who you are by going through these different visions.
Los gemelos.
Every vision was ushered in with the presentation of a card. And that card was the threshold that Incarnacion had to go through in order to come out on the other side changed.
La luna.
I likened them almost to the Stations of the Cross.
And there's seven visions that lead him each time to a different realization about himself and finally to an understanding of who he really is, which is half Indian and half Spanish, and that in fact the priest himself is his father.
Padre, eres mi papá.
Oh, I never meant to be cruel. I only wanted what was best for you.
As a writer, I've always felt a need to sort of express a lot of my culture and my father's culture through my work.
So you're a mix. An ensalada de Spanish olives and Indian corn.
The work was about trying to come to terms with that part of me who still feels a kinship with the Native Americans in this part of the country, but also with that very deeply Catholic part of me.
Tibi omnis angeli.
Tibi omnis angeli.
Amen.
Amen.
Oh, no.
I asked Octavio to make a storyboard. And once he made the storyboard, we'd make the puppets. And once we made the puppets and the storyboard and figured out what they were all going to do, then he wrote dialogue for it.
I wanted to include these anecdotal episodes of history that are all but forgotten about how this region was first discovered. And it was really hard to sort of focus on what the story would be.
It evolved continually, really up until a week or so before the show when it really solidified.
There you are.
Oh, Carolina.
Shh. Toma.
What's this supposed to be?
I don't have time to explain. Just keep it.
Oh, wait.
The way we ended up rehearsing this project was over a 2-year period in spurts. We would rehearse for 3 weeks at one point, a month at another point. I'm going to get a Coke, and when I come back, we'll start. Okay, guys? Sometimes the rehearsals would be aimed towards building things. Other times would be aimed towards trying out dialogue and things like that. Okay, let's go to black. Until finally, I think we had about a 3-month rehearsal process leading up to the performances. And the voice actors and the musicians joined us about halfway through that.
I don't know what's going on. Then she looks into my eyes.
And his hand slips into mine, and we realize
Kisses were created
to keep us from saying far too.
Passions, a promise of the world to come. Oh, but someone else was coming too.
Incarnacion!
Padre!
What are you doing here?
What's this? For this indiscretion you run away.
I love to go to rehearsals, I have to tell you. I mean, to me, it was such a very relaxing thing in the midst of chaos.
Did you see Relly pick Moja's nose yesterday with the sigh? In the beginning, when she's going like this, she goes, whoop, and you go, whoop.
The process of making a shadow play is very different from a regular play. You start with nothing when you're rehearsing a play. You don't even have a set. You don't even have costumes. You don't have anything. Working with puppets is the other way around.
And in fact, it's really backwards of any other kind of theater. Most theaters end with Tech Week. In our kind of shadow theater, we begin with that. We have to solve all the technical problems before we can begin to address the acting problems.
You need to relax and accept that, hey, we're going to be jumping in mud for a while.
One of the things that I've tried to do with this play in particular is to create a cinematic feel to it, so that you really do feel like you're being moved through time and space in a similar way that you are in movies. But it's not movies, it's shadows, and so there's a different set of rules that apply in terms of how realistic or fantastic things can be.
There upon a hill, they settle down and marry.
You may smooch the girl now.
And before too long,
Echa Carolina Kelly. That was quick.
One of the opening scenes of Incarnacion has him working in the field cutting wheat.
see him work his field.
The wheat field is made by puppeteers holding sheaves of wheat above their heads, and the sides are made out of cardboard and broomsticks.
Of my canción.
The key here in every case is that everyone involved is intently watching the screen.
Canta el gallo con su kirikiri, kirikiri, kiri. La gallina con su cara cara.
If you look at where people are backstage, it almost seems random.
There are people who are manipulating lights, other people who are manipulating puppets, other people who are manipulating microphones, some who are on instruments and guitars.
But everybody's attention is on the screen, and it becomes almost a sacred activity. Look at the concentration on their faces and feel the coordination that's going on between all these people.
And all of them working toward this one thing, the presentation of this story.
Y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí.
I thought the music was very key because the music gives it that festive spirit that it requires, but also it just sort of creates the bubble that makes all the magic possible.
There go the truant hominins, leaving without permission Carolina y su vato on her village expedition.
We were brought in by Richard Marriott, who found us by chance and sort of thought that we would be doing a lot of his compositions.
There came a deadly plaga, a most malignant thief.
Our group does old songs that were popular in the early 20th century or regional music from both Mexico and Cuba.
On the